todos. Hoy vamos a presentar Lucio Armando junto a Justin Miles. Justin Miles es alguien con muchísima experiencia en el mundo de café de especialidad y a quien hemos comprado este lote de café de Cusco, así que voy a dejarle a él, aprovechando que está aquí, que os explique más sobre el origen y la cooperativa de dónde viene. Gracias. Adelante.
Basically these coffee is basically a collaboration of two producers. They're in very much neighboring regions. This coffee, the coffee from Cusco, it's the Incahuasi cooperative. So basically these farmers are actually really working together. Unlike other cooperatives, they're physically working on each other's farms, producing coffee together, always harvesting. So the groups in this valley, which is called the Valley of the Incas.
Incahuasi means
the
Valle de los Incas.
Yes.
This is the meaning.
Exactly. So, and the traditional methods of actual work there are taken back from this idea of the pronunciation. It's Aini. Aini is to work on each other's farm. And so basically...
They change the work of the other?
Yeah, so, because the region itself is so remote that seasonal workers aren't actually there to harvest the coffee. It will actually rely on the community working on each other's farms to do this. So that's why we combined these two farmers together, because they had a very similar cup quality, and we made a lot from this. It's a really interesting area. So being in Cusco, you're in the actual most southern western part of Cusco. Yeah, it's a very big state, Peru is a gigantic country, but the interesting thing about this region, this actual valley, is as soon as you get over this mountain range from the other Cusco regions, harvest happens around about a month and a half, even 2 months
later. Other Cusco.
Yeah, so currently right now, November, December, they'll finish actually harvesting around middle of December and be drying the coffee until January. So,
And about Geisha Inca? What is
this
variety?
It's really interesting. It's like, in the end, the farmers, have a lot of experience, and they sort of look at a tree and be like, oh, it's really similar to this tree, as opposed to a Katura Bavon. The typicals are actually also quite different. They basically have these varieties where, honestly, the first trip I went there, they were like, oh yeah, it's like SL9.
SL9.
And it was sort of, no, they first said that, but they hadn't even got a genetic test done. So when I returned, after telling everyone this, they basically made it aware that actually, no, it's a different Ethiopian variety. That's all it is. And the mystery is like, how did it get there? But recently when I visited the farmers and got to meet Lucio, a farmer just around the corner from him, Julian Viches, showed us all the varieties of coffee he has, and there was many different Ethiopian varieties growing there, and you could taste them, and it was like some of them are much more juicy, like the cherries are very juicy, sort of a very, very sweet pepper sort of flavor. But then other ones were really much more like lychee, like classic Ethiopian varieties. And so it's really interesting, but that's why it's called Geisha Inca. It's sort of like, a slight mystery about how it gets there and since when, but basically they know it's an Ethiopian variety, very similar to the typical Geisha varieties of Central America.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we need to...
Yeah, we need to try this coffee.
Together.
So I think the predominant amount of this coffee is like the classic Geisha from Lucio, because he's the bigger farmer. And that's why it's got that really sort of nice lemon citrus, a little bergamot tea-like quality, as opposed to a little bit more fruity Geisha Inca, but that's what Armando has in his lot as well. So.
I found also, called it's a little bit like a hazelnut or a nut, like caramels, or macadamia nut or something like that.
Exactly,
Like at the end.
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing us this coffee.
Yeah, pleasure. I'm glad you enjoy it.
Maybe we can enjoy another coffee from you next year.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Thank
Let's
you,
do it.
Justin.
Okay.